Hello, I am Lucy and I am a 22-year-old Cameroonian dealing with lymphedema. Lymphedema so far has been an experience. It has been, there's just so much to learn about it. Having been that a lot of people don't know about lymphedema, unfortunately. Even some doctors do not know about lymphedema. And this has to be a problem, you know. Most of the times, as a Cameroonian, you would probably get more information about it from estranged countries, say international countries, countries in other continents, but rarely where we are or around us. And so far, I've been talking about the social constraints or social problems I have had so far with lymphedema. In my first episode, I think I briefly explained what lymphedema was and how long I've been suffering from it. Today, I'll be talking about the pains. Most of the times when people see my leg, they ask me, the first thing they ask is, does it hurt? Is it painful? Is it heavy? And then when I say, no, it doesn't hurt, they're so surprised. Like, they're so surprised. Rightfully so. Like, if you see somebody going through something, you would say, oh, does it hurt? And so on and so forth. But yes, it does hurt. But it's rarely like it's something that you could avoid, right? And what happens is when it hurts, before I'll talk about my experiences, before you have pain, you probably had a cut or a wound on your leg or your arm, whatever limb is affected. You probably got a wound there and it got an infection. Now that infection, because lymphedema is very prone to infections, like now that infection goes beyond comprehension. You would think it's malaria, but it's not malaria. It's pain, severe pain. It's more than malaria. The limb that is infected um, swells up, gets red, it is hard, and it's really, really painful. In my case, it gets hot. I don't know about others, but in my case, it gets hot. Like it gives, like you have temperature all over your body, but you can feel that this limb is like it's hotter. It's like the hottest place now on your body. And I've had several experiences. The first ever experience I had was when I was 10 years old. I didn't even know that something like that could happen. So what happened is when I was 10 years old, if you go back, you realize that that was around the time that it was not long from the time where we discovered that I had lymphedema. But I had to go to boarding school. And when I was at boarding school, I played a lot. I mean, I was young. I played a lot and then I fell. I fell while playing and I got a wound on my knee, on the affected limb. So that was okay, every child has a wound and all of that. So it got healed over time. In 1 week it got healed, and that was it there. After a while I started feeling pain on the leg, like severe pain. I had a high temperature. Things were just not going right. I was not feeling well. I could not walk. So, the principal had to call home so they could come pick me up. So my mom sent my uncle. When my uncle came, because my uncle was schooling in Boya at the time, so he came to pick me up and bring me back to Douala. When my uncle came, he had to carry me on his back and take me home. I could not walk. The second experience was, I'm sorry, I didn't, it's when you get to talk about these things that you realize God, how far God has brought you. And I've had several experiences, but they rarely happen because when we went to the hospital, the doctor explained that I think that was when we got first diagnosis, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, the doctor said they just gave me painkillers and stuff. In fact, nobody really knew what was going on with me, to be honest. So they gave me painkillers. I did feel better. I felt better for a while, and then I went back to school. And from two, I left boarding school because my parents wanted to be able to um, put an eye on me. So I started staying at home and going to a day school. Fast forward from two, I had no crisis occasion, like none of that. Um, from three, I had one, and that happened when I was at my grandpa's place for holidays. And by Form 3, we already knew that I had lymphedema. I was diagnosed in Form 2, so by Form 3, we already knew what was wrong with me. And what happened, I don't know what happened exactly, but I know I had a cut on my foot again at some point. And it just happens, like it's not like it alerts you like, oh, you're going to be sick, maybe you have a headache or stuff. But no, it just happens. So we were sitting down, I remember very well. I was in the room with my cousins, my siblings, and all of a sudden I started feeling cold, extremely cold. They brought all the blankets from my grandma's room because like we had a lot of blankets from in her room, and they brought all of it to cover me up, but I was still cold. My leg became red, became hot. I was hot. Like the temperature was too much. My grandma was confused because this was the night. There was nothing that she could do. At the time, we had lost our grandpa, and nobody was really in the house to like drive me to a hospital. So the next morning, she called my uncle to come and pick me up. When my uncle came, he came and carried me because I could not walk. As I said, it gets really severe. I could not walk, so he came and he carried me, and we went to the hospital. I was put on a wheelchair. We went to see a doctor. They did tests. They thought it was malaria, but at the time, the doctor had already explained to us. The doctor who diagnosed me had already explained to us that when I get a cut on my leg, I probably would get an infection. It's after some time that I actually did understand that all these situations were because of this, because of that. So they gave me some painkillers. They even gave me malaria treatment. I was down for about a week. I was just there. But the good thing about it is they were giving me good food. I was eating really good food. I was not eating what everybody was eating. I mean, everybody was eating good food, but my food was different. Like they were pampering me. I was sleeping in my own room. I was not sleeping with my cousins anymore. So yeah, I was treated like a princess, and then I got well at that time. We go to Form 4. I didn't really have any issues because most of the times in Form 4 I was home. The crisis started, and at the time we were in Boya with our mom. Um, so we're staying there and schooling there for that time. So I didn't really have much of a problem in Form 4. Fast forward to Form 5. I think I had minor crises, but they were not as severe. There were some times where I would just feel like some pain, and then I had to go to the hospital, and then they'll give me some pain medication. But they were not as severe as what it was during those two previous times that I've spoken about. And then here comes lower seat. Lower seat, I don't know what happened. Okay, I know what happened. So we were home for let's see, um the lockdown in 2020, 2019, 2020. And since we're home, we're doing all kinds of stuff. Personally, I personally, sorry, personally, I love trying cooking, things that actually excite me. Not cooking, general cooking, or like baking, doing sweets, making, all these snacks and stuff. So, yeah, basically, that's what we're doing for the most time. Oh, we also did some IV sauce for the COVID period. That was very fun. So there was this time I was trying to learn how to do milk sweet. In Cameroon, we know it as bonka. In abroad, you guys probably know it as toffee. Yeah, because it's the same process. It's toffee. So, um, saying abroad in English, it's toffee. So yeah, I was doing it, and then I was trying to put it. It was still hot. I was trying to transfer it into something, a plate or so that I'll later on make its forms, right? And one one tiny one dropped on my leg, and then it really, when you get burned by oil on iron, it stuck there, and then it popped after a while. And my mom even first told me that I should stop going beside hot oil, or if I'm beside hot oil, I should make sure my legs are covered, because she doesn't want to get situations like that anymore. So, we stayed for a while. It always happens because, like, the wound heals before the infection starts to react, like, before the crisis starts to, show itself. So the wound had healed, and then there was this day, I don't know, I started having some pain on the leg. So I went to the room to rest. I was like, let me rest. The leg became red and redder, you know, and then it began to pain more and more. And I started calling my mom. I started crying. I was like, I'm feeling so much pain. And then some things started to come out of it. They were like boils on the leg. They were white. That episode was the worst I've ever had in my life. It was so hard, and there was just a lot going on. The stress of the COVID, and then there was strike as well in the northwest and southwest. We had come back to Boya at that time, and yeah, my mom was confused as to what to do. I took some medications that I was given before, but it didn't help me. And I was feeling so much pain. I could not walk. I could not move on the bed. Like, I could not even turn myself. Now, usually I can't walk, but at least I can do a thing or two on the bed. But I could not turn myself because, first of all, when I have lymphedema on my right limb and the leg, to be precise, and it's from my lap down to my toes. So, if you cannot move, up here, it's kind of like hard. So yeah, I was in bed for about 3 days, and my mom had to tell my dad that we cannot leave her here. We have to take her to the hospital. So we went to the hospital. The day we had to go to the hospital, my dad was not around. My dad used to work in the mornings and then come back in the night. So he sent my uncle to come and pick me up. They came and picked me up. My mom had to carry me on her back. She carried me, she put me in the car, and off we went. We went to the hospital. There's this doctor we met. This man, I think he knows what he does. Because we had gone to that hospital before, but we have never met him. And when we went there the first time, I had some pain, but like as I said, minute. So they gave me some injections. So he came the next day. I was hospitalized. He came the next day and then he saw me and then he asked them what's wrong. He saw the leg and he was like, "What you guys are giving her here, she doesn't need it. Let her come to my office." So we went there. He gave some medications that time, as at that time, and it helped me. So when we just got there, the first place we went to was to his office. And then he gave me Celestine. It's a steroid. And he said I should take it for, is it 2 days? Three? No, sorry, 2 days. He said I think 2 weeks or 7 days, one of that. And that after that, if I'm not feeling better, I should come back. But he's sure that I'll be better. And literally, that's what happened. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, I was better. I was really better. And at least I could even move around, but with support, I could move. The pains were reducing. And yeah, that happened. But the downside about those steroids were they made me fat. Yes. I was so fat, I was so bulky, and it was a lockdown period. By the time we went back to school after the lockdown period, my friends were like, "Hey, what's happening to you?" So yeah, I was fat, and yeah, but you know, for the good cause, it was for a good cause. And yeah, I stopped taking them. He told me to stop, and I stopped taking them. So anytime I got pain, I did that. Anytime I got pain, I did that. There was also a time when I was in upstate. That the time we went back. That was upstate. That was not even lower state. It was upstate when the COVID started. So yeah, when I went back to school after a while, I still had pain, but it wasn't like the steroids. I didn't want them anymore. Let me not say it wasn't working. I didn't want them anymore. So when I went to the hospital, because they sent me out of school, let me go to the hospital. I went to the hospital. I told the doctor that I don't want steroids anymore, and he gave me some injections that could help, and they did help. I didn't have a crisis when I was in boarding school. I had thrombosis. It happened so that blood clot, if I'm not mistaken, it was blood clot. I don't know what happened. I think I hit my leg on a trunk, and then it somehow created some kind of trauma on the leg. So that's what happened, and then I had that thrombosis, and those injections did help. Hi. Anyways, I don't want to talk about the medications now. Maybe some other video, but this is generally the pains that you get when you have lymphedema, and these are some of the experiences that were very pronounced to me. Like I felt it as much. I get pain, but rarely. It doesn't happen all the time. As I said, you need to have you probably have an infection before you can get that kind of pain. So usually what I do is I um I wear my stockings. I try to avoid anything that will cause a wound to the leg or some kind of trauma to the leg. I kind of like protect my leg before I protect myself. So that's basically what I do. And I just want to thank God for bringing me this far, because when I sit down and actually talk about these things, it makes me realize that I have gone so far. Because after that period in Upsy, I don't think I've had a severe crisis period like that time, or like the other two times. I have had crises, but you can count them. There are not so many. I mean, one or two in during my university days. Crisis for my leg in particular. So I really thank God, because it has been a crazy journey, but it has been a learning experience, because I've learned that, for me to be okay, I need to take care of my leg and myself. So yeah, that's it for today. I just want to use this moment or this time to encourage you. Don't lose hope. Don't give up. I am here as an evidence to tell you that there is hope. There is hope. There's going to be that joy. You're going to smile afterwards when you look back and see where you have come and see where you have reached. And I would always tell you that there is just one thing that has encouraged me or has given me the strength. Because people always be like, "You're so strong, Lucy." And there's just one person, one thing, one reason why I am this strong. And that reason, that person is Jesus Christ. And He has taken me this far, and I'm grateful to Him. He has been my best friend through it all. He has been listening to everything. He has been my father, you know. He's a very good friend, and He's calling on you. If you don't have anybody to turn to, He is actually calling on you to tell you that I am here for you to turn to me. So, yeah, if you need any help, you may contact me. I'll probably leave my um, email down in the description box so that you can contact me, and yeah, we would talk about it. So this is the end of this video. I'll try as much as possible to upload more. I am thinking of doing something even better for this page to encourage us as well. But until it's showing as though it will come to fruition, I would share it with you guys. Yeah, that would be all for now. Oh, also, your girl is a software engineer. Yay! I mean, my graduation has not yet happened, but I already, I already know that I'll be validated to graduate. That yeah, I'm a software engineer. Mm, I mean, that counts, right? For not having to upload a lot of videos, you know. So, but thank you so much for sticking around. If you're still here at the end of this video, please like, comment, share. You can share to somebody that you think needs to see the video as well, so that we can grow together. It's a little community for us to encourage ourselves so that we can grow together and be encouraged. Bye. Love you. God loves you more.